On the 22nd day of April 2025, it is a very good morning from here at Family TV, Family Matters, Parenting Tuesday, where we are parenting these children of ours together. And this morning I'm super excited, double joyed actually, because I'm talking about twins this morning, the joy of raising twins. And I'm excited to have a mom who's gone through this journey raising her twins, girls, and she'll be telling us more about that, and also an expert on matters counseling, and she'll also be taking us through, you know, the challenges, probably solutions. If you have issues raising your children, twins especially, she'll be giving us direction and some solutions on that. Remember to loop in into the conversation on 20316, which is our SMS line, 0786 316 316 on WhatsApp line. So join me on this conversation as I welcome our guest this morning. My name is Sally Limo, and I'm excited to have you ladies here. Maureen and Faith, amazing ladies, and thank you so much for making time to be here. I'll start with you, Faith, to introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you, Sally, for having me here today to discuss this interesting topic. I know we have many other women who are going through the same challenge or even the joys of having twins. So my name is Faith Nafula Atsango. I'm a counseling psychologist, and I love my job. I like talking to people and imparting knowledge to everyone that listens to me.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
More mommy of twins.
Yes.
Mama twins, talk to us.
My name is Maureen, Maureen Adhiambo Hooko. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited to be here to talk about my amazing twins.
Right.
Twin girls. They're 8 years old, Claire and Clara. And it's such a joy to be their mother.
Oh, fantastic. And it's already like you've gone ahead of me, because my first question would be, tell us about these twins.
Oh, they are amazing.
Yeah.
They are so full of life. They are so loving. They are so confident.
Yeah.
Very sharp girls. Very loud in the house. They are always talking and jumping. There's so much noise.
Yeah.
They've brought so much joy in our lives.
Yeah.
And they are fraternal, by the way, not identical. But most people, when you meet them for the first time, you cannot tell them apart. Yeah, they're just a joy to be in our lives.
Faith, I know you're also a mommy, but not of twins, but you know, of 3 children.
Yeah.
But as a mother, what do you think? What does the presence of a twin do to the other in terms of emotional development also, and just that sense of individuality for each of them?
To start with, I would want to say twins are just like any other child. These are children who have grown together from the time they were conceived. They've already started attaching, the bonding from conception up to when they are born.
Yeah.
So for them, they've bonded already. And if they are joining a family which already has children, these other children kind of feel
Left out.
I was born alone. How come these children have come too? They have a special bond. There is a way they connect. They can sleep through noise. They're just together. As much as they have been growing together and all, they're still individuals, just like these other children.
Okay.
You cannot say, I have twins, so I have to treat them like the same. That should not happen.
Okay.
These are individuals who should be handled individually. They have individual needs. They have different emotions. Temperaments are different. They have their own life journeys and goals to achieve. So when you bring up these twins, and maybe it's a family which also had another set of individual children, you just bring them separate.
Yeah, but what does it do to now, like this twin, the emotional probably development of one twin, for example, when they see this other one, or even their sense of individuality? How do they feel about the other person?
They just, they see each other as like, yes, we have so much in common, but you are who you are, and I am who I am, so let's work together. Where you need help, they fight even, they can argue, they cross paths, but at the end of the day, they will sort their individual. They will feel threatened. Oh, maybe mommy loves this one, daddy loves this one, or our nanny loves this one more. How they interpret things is totally different. But now it's up to you as a parent to come and tell them, yes, and this is what you feel, this is what has happened, but that's not what it is.
Okay.
This is just life. We've come to this world. Let's enjoy and do life.
Okay, you know what is interesting, and I can see Maureen laughing. It's because when you said fight and all that more. What is probably is that? What's the best part of raising these girls?
Oh my God, the best part of raising the twins is that first of all they are two, so they have each other to play with. They have each other to run to for comfort in case of being bullied in school, for example. You know, they're each other's best friends. Sometimes even when they fight, I cannot even get in between them because you'll be the bad one. You know, the bond they share is just
unique.
It's so unique. I have never seen anything like that.
Amazing.
So and then they give each other confidence. My twins are very, very confident because they have each other always. And so, you know, nobody can get between them.
Oh,
even in school, there's no twin who can be bullied and the other one watches and just stays.
Fantastic.
So they give each other support.
So as much as, you know, as much as Faith, that, you know, this, let's call them singletons, these are the children. Of course, they also look out for each other. But is it different with the twins? Is it, are they more protective?
Yeah, they're more protective because because from conception, they've gone through it. The noise, the movements in the when they're still in the womb, they've shared so much. So their bond definitely is stronger than these singletons because now they've stayed in the same pod. If it's a discomfort, they experience the same discomfort. If it's, there's some even we see in YouTube, you see one feeding the other with their finger and it soothes them to sleep. So they've gone through it all. So bonding started early and it's more heightened in twins than the singletons. Because as a single child, you've been alone, no one to talk to, you go through your issues alone. But these two, they've been sharing it. When this other one sees this other one crying, they will come and console. When they fight, how they resolve their issues is totally different from how the singletons children resolve their issues. So how they carry out themselves happens to be different because of the emotional attachment they've had since conception.
So here I'm seeing a lot of, I think it's that bonding from like you know, Dr. Faith said, from the word go. It is about that attachment. It is about being in that, like you call it, a pod actually. Twins are like, they're in a pod more. So I'm just wondering, when you had this bundle of joy, especially in the early years, how was it like? What kind of support did you need at the time, or did you receive at the time?
It was tough. It was very tough. I had sleepless nights, and they both had different sleeping schedules. So when one would sleep, the other one would be awake. The other one is awake, the other one sleeps. So it was a whole night of sleepless nights. It was so tiring. I remember at some point I even broke down and started crying with them. It was so overwhelming. But I had amazing support, especially from my family. My big sister even came and moved in with me to help me take care of them. I had amazing nannies. At that time I had 3 of them. So the support was overwhelming. But it was very tough. And they would cry at the same time, you know, wake up sometimes at the same time. It was just overwhelming.
And you know, she's talked about that kind of support. How important is that, you know, more so for a mother with, you know, 2 or more? How important is that? Because now, for her, she's blessed enough. She's blessed enough to have had the 3 nannies. There are parents out there. You have even triplets, and you can't sleep. This one, they cry alternately. How important is that kind of support?
That kind of support is very, very important. As you know, we have mothers after giving birth who go through postpartum depression.
Exactly.
When you have support like this one, postpartum depression goes down. It's easing up. You also, when you have such kind of supports, you sleep well. You can have time to sleep. So because one can take care of one child, another one takes care of another child. your production of milk also goes up because you're relaxed. Stress levels are not as high as a person who doesn't have support. Right. Peace of mind also, right? Yes. Knowing that you have your back covered, you have your friend, you have your sister, you have your brother who is around, that when you call upon them, they will come to you. That gives you great peace. It cannot give you 100, but at least you know, I have someone. If I need help, I can easily call someone, and that gives you a smooth or a better journey to bring up twins. Because you can imagine someone, as you said, having triplets, they don't have support, they don't know who to talk to, and maybe even it's their first time giving birth, and here you are, you're blessed double. So
is it a blessing at that point, or is it? Yeah, I can imagine.
So having support, having people to talk to, it really, really helps in walking this journey of taking care. Because having twins can really be a handful.
It's draining.
Yeah, having one child can bring you down. Now you can imagine having. It's something else.
And you know, from what Maureen has just mentioned, Maureen, you said at some point you felt you couldn't sleep, you even cry with the children. Do you think you underwent a little bit of, it's called blue babies, or even a little bit of postpartum depression?
In my case, it was a bit different because I had waited for these babies for so long. So they were a joy. It was my first time having, you know, experiencing that kind of, you know,
giving birth.
Yes. So I don't think I experienced any depression.
So the crying,
I was looking forward to having them. But the sleepless nights was a bit overwhelming. But depression, I wouldn't say that.
No,
I had any sort of depression.
Faith, are there any parenting approaches maybe you may probably advise to parents, because now hers are older, they're about 8 years.
Yeah, they're 8, turning 9 on the 7th of July.
Wow, nice.
So I can imagine, you know, is it, what kind of parental approach would be appropriate then, like now when they were even younger, and even as they grow? Because even now there's some approaches they may want to take, and of course I'll ask Maureen to talk to us about their parenting style together with their husband.
That's a good one. One of the parenting routine that Maureen have seen she's already adopted is asking for parenting help from other people. Just reaching out and asking, can I be helped? Because you cannot do everything. You cannot be all over alone by yourself. It's good you got 3 nannies who came, and that they offered support. The second one is joining groups of parents who have multiple babies. Because this is where you can share your experiences, you can share ideas of how to go about it. You can discuss what you go through. Maybe you have children who they're identical or fraternal, and how can you go about them? Because twins are, I've said, twins are not the same. Another one is having scheduled routines. Like you can say, in the morning, we will wake up, we will do 1, 2, 3. In the afternoon, this is our routine. Because when you have a routine and a structured way of doing things, then you have organization. You can even have a timetable, if possible, and say, in the morning, children will wake up, will take porridge, at 10, they will take a snack, lunchtime. It makes work easy, even for the nanny, even for yourself, even you can plan yourself even to sleep, right? Another something that can help you is also create some time for yourself as a person, because you cannot run the machine without resting. Having twins can be overwhelming. So create time for yourself, and say, okay, after all is done, I need 2 hours for myself or 1 hour for myself, so that you can recharge. Remember, I always say you cannot pour from an empty cup. You're a mother, you're a wife, you're people look up to you. Back at home, your parents are looking up to you for support. So you cannot draw from an empty cup. So you need to create time for you to rest. Another thing also is try not to compare these children, right? Don't say, why is this one like this, you're disturbing? No. That one will now bring a strained relationship between you and the children. So, as I've said again, these children are individuals with individual needs, with individual temperaments. So never compare these children because it will give you a problem raising them up. Also look for ways of how you can respect them and listen to their
each
needs.
One of them,
Yeah, create time for each individual. Don't just carry them as a group. Clara has a different needs, Claire has a different needs. You cannot say they are the same. I will do this and this at the same time. They are different individuals. They need different time and different needs.
I like the individuality bit you're bringing in because indeed it is there. But before we get to individuality, Maureen, I'm just what kind of routine, you know, do they have, or how is a typical day like for you in the house?
Okay, before I talk about the routine, just to touch on what she has said about individuality. Yes, people tend to compare twins a lot.
Right.
Yeah, because now they look the same, so people tend to compare them and say, oh, this one is bigger than this one. Oh, this one speaks different or what. Yeah, so I think twins should be treated as individuals. In fact, even in their school, we purposely put them in separate classes.
You're really going ahead of my questions. You have a leakage.
So I agree with that.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, so
their routine, first of all, there are two. So in the morning, we need more time to prepare them for school when they wake up. So we wake up earlier. By 5:45, they're awake. And okay, in the beginning, I told you I had 3 nannies, but now we only have 1 because they are growing older. They are more independent. Yeah. So at 5:45, they wake up, prepare. Now they are old enough to dress on their own. Now breakfast is usually the hardest part because it's early and they are groggy. They are still sleepy. Yeah. And by 7, we drop them to school. And I intentionally drop them personally, or their father will drop them for bonding.
Right.
So after that, I go for my morning walks. I said, as mothers, we need time.
Absolutely.
To just unwind. And then come back, shower, have my breakfast, and I work from home. So at 4 o'clock, they're back at home. Yeah. At that time, we give them their snacks. We do our homework. And then supper is ready. Okay. After supper, you know, they always read their storybooks before bed, and then they sleep by 8.
Wow. That's a good routine.
Fantastic.
And that is our daily routine in our home.
Yeah. You know, Faith, you had me saying Maureen has gone ahead of me in terms of questions because she mentioned on individuality that the children are actually separated at school. You know, how important is that? Does it not cause a strain on one or the other? Because as we said, they're together at home, everything they're together. So what happens to them when, you know, they're separated? Is it important?
Yeah, it's important. This allows them to be individual, like to grow in their own uniqueness. Yes, in their own uniqueness, to develop their own friends, to develop their own temperaments, to develop their own issue resolving mechanism. Because if you are together, you will never learn. You will never learn of what happens in the outside world. You need to interact with other people from other spaces. Even in class, they should not even be put in the same class, because these are people who should be allowed to develop individually. Because if you put them together, then there's nothing much that is going to happen. Because they're just in the same space. They don't know how other children behave. If they're faced with a challenge, they don't know how to go about it. So they need to be put aside, separate ways, so that they can develop their own uniqueness.
And on top of that, they're also able to make their own friends. So they don't have the same set of friends.
Exactly. So socially now they diverse. They go to
diverse.
Fantastic. Okay. More, you know, when we're talking about support, it is important also to mention the support of your spouse. I know he was very supportive. How important was that for you? Just speaking also to maybe a father who is watching out there, or even a lady, someone who is in this journey.
It's so important to have your support from your spouse. My husband was very supportive, emotionally, financially, and even to date. You know, like you need each other to make decisions. For example, decisions on which schools to go to, decisions on their routine. And that support is very, very important. I don't think I would have done it on my own without the support of my husband. He's been an amazing father as well.
Absolutely.
And also, you know, his support is needed in terms of discipline. Yeah, because you know, when you're disciplining children, you need both parents. Sometimes I tend to be a little bit soft.
There you go on parenting styles. Yeah.
But when dad says no, they know it's a no.
Authority,
yeah, there's no two way about it. So that authority is very important in the family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Faith, what is the best parenting style for twins? Is there a best style, or do you just balance it out? Because now here you see, Maureen is the, I may not call her permissive per se, but she's the soft one. There's soft landing for the children, and then the dad is the authoritarian. You know, there's authoritative and authoritarian. And I think the what's the importance of that?
The authoritarian is the one who says, we are going west. All of us, we should go west. Yeah? It doesn't give children that creativity to be themselves because they are under a rule. Then the authoritative one is the one which is a bit democratic, that you will say this, but the child will tell you, but daddy, I feel this is the best way. And then you come to an agreement, you discuss, and then you say, okay, let's do this, and then we see how it goes. Let's do this according to you, my children. We see how it goes. If it's a good thing, then you adopt it. Yeah, so because being permissive also is not very, very nice, because now they don't have that leadership bit, and when they grow up, even taking charge of their own lives becomes a problem. So I think authoritative is the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. More as a mommy of these twins, because even, like, you know, for us who have the single twins, sometimes you must create time to have some time with this one, some time with that. Do you create that time to have them, you know, bond with them individually, and what do you do with them, each one of them?
It's okay. First of all, they're always together. They are awake at the same time. They go to sleep at the same time. So you have them at the same time all the time. So, and sometimes it's very hard to balance because when they come back from school, they want to talk at the same time. This one wants to tell you what happened in school. It can get chaotic. So now we've taught them to be talking in turns. For example, okay, Claire, let's start with you. How was your day? What happened? Then you go to Clara. So now they're learning how to, you know. Yeah, so we just spend time together.
Okay.
Yeah, but separately.
But as they grow up, you know, do you think it will be important when we speak about individuality, just to sit with, you know, each one of them, take them for a lunch date, you know, and just talk to them one-on-one?
Actually, the only time that I normally talk to them one-on-one is during the bathing time. Yeah, that one now they shower separately.
It would be chaotic to have them both.
And that's the time now, okay, I'm with one child at a time. So now we talk and they tell me their fears, what happened, you know, their thoughts.
Who they interacted with in school.
What happened, you know,
love that.
what the other twin did that she didn't like. Yeah, so that is the only time I have a one-on-one with them. But any other time, we are always together.
But I like what you're saying, because you see, like, even the question that I've posed is, do you take them somewhere and have time with them? But that's a very creative way also of having an individual, you know, a me time with them during bath time. So it doesn't have to cost money. That's quite interesting.
Or even, I was thinking, maybe as a couple, you can decide and say, this Saturday, we are all going out. You go with Clara, the father goes with Claire. And then just see. And then the next weekend, you exchange. You go with Claire, the father goes with Clara. So that they can also experience you at a different level. So that they can have father to daughter time and mother to daughter time. And even other parents who have twins, they can still apply the same. So that you don't find that one parent dominates in their lives more than the other. Yeah, you try and just balance.
That's a good way.
And then they compare notes, like probably in the evening now they discuss, Claire said this, Clara said this. So again, when you exchange, then you compare the notes, probably find she wasn't open with me here, and then probably something like that.
Yes, because these are girls, and they are growing, and they have different needs. They will reach a point, they will start, the emotions, the hormones will start now being active. they will start their menses, and maybe how they view you or how they view their father is totally different. They'll find you more approachable than the father, or they'll find the father more approachable. So you just need to give them that space. You do an exchange program. You say, this weekend I'll go out with this one, next weekend, and then you come back and compare notes. Yeah, instead of just spending time at birth, because you see also routine has its own limitations. Yeah, because we keep on discussing the same thing in the same space. Can we try and go out and see if our discussion will be better, maybe in a supermarket, in a mall, Karura Forest walking, you know, even in the walks. In the estate, or maybe you can just decide, today I will go with you, in the evening I will go with, I will do morning run with Clara, evening walk with Claire, and then you see and compare.
Wow, I love that bit of the exchange program. And you know, with that, let's just pause there as we marinate ourselves in that conversation, in that, you know, as we take a very short break, a music break, and we'll be right back with this music, the one you need. We'll be right back after the short break, and remember to keep engaging us on 20316, SMS line, WhatsApp 0786 316 316 is our WhatsApp line. I think the next time I'll just have male guests here, because the chatting behind the camera is too much. We almost got caught, you know, behind the scenes just chatting. But anyway, an amazing conversation right here, you know, on camera and even behind the scenes, as we talk about the joy of bringing up twins. And I'm joined by Maureen Adhiambo Ooko and Faith at Sango here as we have this beautiful, you know, discussion. I'm amazed and, you know, enjoying your feedback online. And there's someone here saying, Faith and Maureen, what's your take on beating children? And what impact does it have on them? I've seen kids grow being beaten, and when they're older now, they're not disciplined at all. It's as if at some point they became used to the beating, and, you know, as a parent can't tell them anything and listen. What's your take on that, Faith, first?
Wow. We have different ways of disciplining children, right? That parents who believe beating will make a child disciplined.
Right.
But we are all individuals who react differently to different kinds of discipline, right? When you beat a child, you're just growing up a rebellious person. If you beat a child and you don't tell them why you're beating them, they will just see you're just hitting them. And growing up, they will grow with so much pain, so much hatred towards you, and later on they will just rebel. So you need to understand your children and apply a discipline that works for them. We have different types of, you can withdraw some luxuries that you've been giving them. You can develop a corner where you can put them when they do something bad. I believe in talking. I talk a lot to my children. And I tell them, you've done this, this is not correct, these are the consequences. That is my way of disciplining. At times I deny them what they really, really love, right? Beating, for me, doesn't work. You're just putting pain on children, and they will just grow being rebellious. And that, I think that's where our viewer is coming from. That children who grew up being beaten, but when they grow up,
they're rebellious.
They're rebellious. They're no longer disciplined. So we really need to understand our children and how we mold them from down there, how we handle issues, be it love, be it conflict, be it rivalry, sibling rivalry, really, really matters when the child grows or when the children grow. How you resolve conflict really, really matters.
Fantastic. And you know, probably Maureen can touch on how you know, what kind of discipline works for you with the children. Do you beat? What you know, what punishment modes do you use?
First of all, let me talk about how we grew up being beaten by my mother. Beat us. You know, she was a teacher, and I remember fearing our parents. Like my dad would come home and everybody runs to their room to do their homework, and I told myself that I never want my children to be so fearful of me or their father. So I also, once in a while, I'll spank them a little bit, but I try so much not to beat. So our the way we discipline our children is we give them time out. And there's nothing they hate like being locked up in a room doing nothing. And when they just think of, oh, if I do this, I'll be locked up, they'd rather not repeat that mistake again.
Okay.
So we just do time out.
All right.
And it works.
It works.
It works.
Yeah, as much as people, you know, some people do that, especially Christian parents, and they say, spare the rod.
Yeah.
And some people even say, when this kid was moved from school, things are even worse. But I believe, like you're saying, even dialogue works.
Yes.
You know, just talking sometimes does work.
Talking works. Eh?
Yeah.
They just need to know there are consequences to their actions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you steal somebody's item in school, there are consequences. If you come home, play with fire, there are consequences.
Right.
You cannot just go to the kitchen, light up the gas or stove without any parental guidance. And that is also another way of teaching them of how to be independent.
Okay.
Because we have children, especially girls, when they see their mothers cook, they also think they can cook. It's not bad, but you know, if they're in the kitchen by themselves, chances of them getting burnt are high or even cut themselves.
Yeah.
So it's also another way of training your child. You just be there, you parent them, you show them the way.
Yeah.
So I believe
talking is also a type of, you know, it can help to resolve conflict, or discipline rather. More, you know, probably you may talk briefly about your kids' personalities, because we want to talk about conflict resolution. Yeah, so how are they like? Who is Claire? Who is Clara? And when they have conflict, then how do you resolve the conflict?
They have totally different personalities, completely.
Wow.
You know, when they were younger, they were the same. They would cry, eat, sleep. But as they grew, we realized that, hey, they're totally different. One is more controlling, Clara. Yeah. She likes to be in charge of everything. Right. Even when they're playing a game, you know, she wants to be in control. Yeah. She's the leader. And Claire is a bit reserved. Yeah. And then one likes to, you know, likes to take care of her things. She's more careful with her things. But the other one, I will not mention who, is always losing things. She'll come back. Another time she came back home without her shoes, just with the socks, you know, very careless. Yeah, so they're totally different. Okay. Yeah, they have different personalities. One likes to do house chores, like, you know, she will clean and take things and to the sink. But the other one, oh, she'd rather just sit and be comfortable. Right. Yeah.
And so conflict now here. Who is the mchokozi one? You know, there's that one who is the poker. And then there's the one now who is... like you're saying, so how do you resolve the conflict between them?
First of all, whenever there's a conflict, we try as much as possible not to take sides. Right. Yeah.
That is important.
Yes. So we'll sit down and listen and find out what was the cause of the conflict. And then, you know, from there, now we resolve. Yeah. So because we realize that when you take sides, the other person, the other twin will feel a bit left out, less loved. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
But I'm sure, do they sometimes have those tricks like she did, I did, but I'm the one who actually provoked them, but I come and report them first. Do they have such cheekiness sometimes?
They are so cheeky, very naughty. And sometimes when you punish one because the other one did the mistake, they will now gang up against you. Again, you know, because of the bond. Earlier we talked about the bond that twins have
since conception.
Yeah, so it's very difficult to punish them like collectively or just individually.
You remain in the middle, there's a bad person.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yes.
Okay. You know, Faith, you know, as an expert here with children as well on matters parenting, how then can you, you know, as a parent, apart from how Maureen and the husband try to resolve conflicts with the children, what other ways are there to resolve conflict?
Other ways of resolving conflict, of course, conflict came because they both initiated it. I always allow them to solve. Before I intervene, I will just come in when I see it's prolonged. Okay. Right? And when I come in, I'll talk to them about prolonged conflict resolutions. But first of all, I usually give them chance to resolve their own issues. Okay. Right? And when they resolve it, we talk about it. And at times, when we are just seated in the lounge, we discuss these things and we laugh them out. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And also, I give them stories. I form stories in my head and I tell them, wow, this person who did 1, 2, 3 things. I just form stories to just enlighten them that it's not good to keep this, it's not good to do this to each other. Your brothers, you need each other, your sisters, you know. So I at times use other people's experiences and how they resolve their issues. I use their own examples. I remind them of when they were 2 years old, the way they used to fight, because my sons have 2-year gap, so they used to
fight a lot, like
because of sibling rivalry. You know. So I usually remind them. You remember what happened? Then they say, "Oh yeah," and they acknowledge those days we were so kiddish, we were so childish. So I usually use other people's examples. I create stories in my own head. I tell them, but this is how things should be done. Now
but today they know you create stories, so you. Anyway,
they're now grown up.
I'm excited about this conversation because there's so much good feedback, and let me just try and run through. There's someone here saying, "Good morning, Sally. I can't imagine how beautiful the daughters are. I support Faith's point on having dates with the kids separately. It also helps them learn to be on their own without the other twin. I have cousins who grew up together, always with their mom, and now it's difficult to separate them, yet they're 26 years old, you see?" And then someone says, "Hi, Sally. Do I need 2 of everything you need for 1 baby? When I grow up, I want to have twins, the Egyptian king." So I think that's a question to you more, like, do I need to have 2 of everything? Like if it's diapers, because they're twins.
Yes.
And,
2 of everything, and at their age now, we buy the same. The same color, the same type of everything, just to avoid conflict. Because you don't want the other twin thinking that the other one has a better stuff than the other.
Because actually it's a question I was going to ask you as well. Do you dress them alike? Do they, and you know, is it necessary? Do they want it that way? Or for individuality again, as they grow up, do they need to dress differently?
Since they were born, we've been dressing them alike. Same color, same design, same everything. But now as they're getting older, I'm beginning to see that
different sense of style.
Now they have different sense of style. One wants to wear jeans, the other one wants to wear a dress. And I'm allowing them just to develop as individuals and to do what they want.
Okay, fantastic. Faith, how important is it to, you know, to have them dress the same or even differently?
Okay, thank you for that question. And for me, that falls under the myths that we have.
The misconceptions of twins.
Yes. One of them is the identity, the way you're buying them things the same. You should know that twins are individuals and they have their own lives. So if you buy them the same, maybe I'm a sanguine and my other one is a melancholy, you're just hurting these people. You just let them dress the way they want. There's one who will want to put on a tumbo cut. Another one is reserved. I want a long dress. So let them be individual by them.
But I think at this point, like what Mo is saying, when they are younger, it's okay. But as they grow up now, you diverse.
You diverse, right?
Okay.
Another thing, the misconception that we have is twins are conceived at the same time. That's not true. Depending on the kind of twin, they take different times to be conceived, either fraternal or identical. It's different. It's not the same. They were not conceived at the same time. That's how one will come out, the first one. They will not come out the same time. Another one will come out after some seconds.
Okay.
Another misconception is this twin is bad, this twin is good. The way you just said, that there's one who is very loud, the other one. That's not true. There are people with different identity. Right. This is a different person. You know. You cannot say this is bad. They don't take instructions. They are rude. No, that is their just identity.
Their personality.
That is their personality. That is who they are. Another misconception is you can never have time for yourself. That's not true. You can create time. If you have a program, like if you have a schedule, a routine in your house, you can have time with yourself. Another misconception is you don't have time with your partner. That's not true. You can still create time. You can say, okay, our children have slept. Can we go out? Can we go out for a drink? Can we go out for a staycation? Can we go out for a trip? Right now, your babies are 8 years. You can just talk to them and tell them, Mommy and Daddy are going for a vacation. you know. So those are misconceptions that we can demystify them.
More questions. You know, I have questions, but I feel like even our, you know, our audience, people who are watching and even listening on radio, are actually having the same questions as I did. How did the twins develop in terms of speech, walking, and such? Did they start talking at the same time, walking at the same time, or each had their own, you know, milestone? Did develop milestone on their own at their own pace?
They had different milestones. For example, one started crawling before the other. One learned how to crawl, the other one would roll.
Yeah.
You see the individuality now.
Yes. Talking, they almost started talking at the same time.
Because they converse.
They converse together. They're always together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
But also in terms of walking, they started walking at the same time. Yeah. So more or less, development has been the same.
Okay.
Yes.
And then someone is saying, "Hi Sally, what's easier, raising 2 girls as twins, 2 boys as twins, or, you know, a boy and a girl?" Faith.
Well, parenting children is totally different. I hear people say raising boys is easier than raising girls. But I don't think that's true. It's just how you view parenting. Of course, different genders have different needs, different issues to be given attention, different approaches. You cannot, the way we are raising girls is not the same way we are raising boys. Our society has made us to have that difference, but I believe we should all equip our children with the same skills, because at some point they will be in their own. They will go to campus. They will need to take care of themselves. Will their mommy or daddy come there to help them cook their food in the hostels? So I believe that we should just raise kids depending on their needs. And as a parent, you know what is right, you know what your needs for survival, because you will never be with your parents every day. You maybe something happens, you die. How are you going to leave your children, right? So from the onset, you should just equip both girls and boys with the same skills. Teach them how to just have the basic skills that they need. Even just making coffee, boiling water. You should not say this is a girl's chore.
So it's not about the gender. It's about just raising those children, right?
Yes.
And more because of time, because we have, I think, approximately, according to my director, probably 6 minutes to go. I may just want to know how each of this child, what impact they've had in your life, and the motherhood journey. How has it been like?
It has been awesome. It's been amazing. My children have taught me to be patient.
Right.
and you know, and just you know, I never knew that I can be a patient person.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, and also, you know, before they were born, I had almost OCD. Like everything has to be in the right place, cleanliness. And now even when they spill, you know, juice on the carpet,
it's okay.
I don't care anymore. It's okay. I just let them be. You know. And you know, you don't have to be a perfect mother and perfect at everything. So
fantastic.
They've just
taught you patience.
They've taught me patience and just to be what do you call it? To let things be. That perfectionism is no longer there. Perfection is no longer in my life anymore.
Because that falls under the challenges that parenting twins. Parents to twins have heightened levels of postpartum depression. They are more prone to postpartum depression. They are more prone to stress and anxiety. They don't know what will happen. Like, if these children wake up at the same time, will I be able to breastfeed them? Right. You know. So anxiety and stress levels are usually high. And also strained financial. You have to buy diapers.
Double this?
Double diapers, double naan, double milk, nanny. You need to hire. You had 3. That is costs, you know. So those are the small lack of time even for yourself. Because during the colic time, I can take you back. The colic time, this one is crying here. getting sick. You know, the way if this one has flu,
the other one also gets
flu.
Wow.
Yeah. So those are the small challenges that parenting and raising twins.
And we're like that, Faith, probably may just, as we wind up, advice to a mother somewhere who has twins or multiple children and they feel overwhelmed. Just briefly, what advice do you have for them?
Advice I can give to parents with multiples, it's to just take life a day at a time, as Maureen has said, a day at a time. You cannot plan for tomorrow.
Right.
You act as the needs go by, right? And also reach out and seek help. Don't be that one woman show that I can take this, I'm strong. No, ask for help when you need, right? And also I always tell mothers, you can never never pour from an empty cup. Always make sure you have something in your cup so that you can pour. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you'll end up being a cranky mother. You'll end up even hurting the children that you're taking care of. So you just need to take care of yourself. Don't forget who you are before you become a mother.
Fantastic. And before more you wind up, you know, with your closing remark, this is something that I may not want to leave it out. A comment from a gentleman called Haron. And because we're here to impact lives and change lives, someone is saying, Haron is saying, I'm really enjoying this topic. I'm a single father raising 2 Gen Alpha boys. I used to beat them up, but I've learned something on how to discipline them. Thanks a lot, women of power.
Thank you.
That's a beautiful compliment. Thank you very much, Aaron. And indeed, don't beat them. Don't beat them. You know, just talk to them. They seem to be. They sound to be amazing boys. Anyway, more now on winding up your parting shot. But someone is also asking, do your kids get the same grade in school?
The same, almost the same grades.
Someone asked that.
Yes, they get almost the same grades.
Right.
Yeah, I cannot say one is brighter than the other. Yeah,
fantastic.
Yes, they have amazing teachers and they're going to an amazing school. Yeah,
lovely. And that, I know Time, my director, will today, but it's you know, like magic, the way they can even be in different classes but they attain the same grades. How is that possible? Is it that connection?
I think the connection from early connection, because they almost share everything. Even the pod that they were in had the same supply of everything with the same nini. So I think it starts from down there. How they connect, how they treat each other, how they resolve their conflict. It started from
fantastic. My director's on my neck. More parting shots.
I'd like to tell moms out there, especially twin moms.
Yes.
Just be you. There's nothing like a perfect mother.
Right.
Yes.
Right. There's no super mommy.
There's no super mommy.
And there's no medal.
Fantastic.
And there's no medal for the best mommy. So just be you.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much. Maureen and Faith, thank you for really making time to be here. You've made an amazing discussion. It's been fantastic. You've seen the impact that we've created out there, and we really thank God for that. Asanteni sana. I hope to host you again for another different topic another time. And to you, my amazing viewer and listener, wherever you are, I just want to say asante sana, sana for the feedback you've given us, for just being part of this conversation. We really do appreciate, and of course, that amazing group of people, my special people, our partners, people who've been holding our hands for the longest. The last 25 years been working with us to ensure that we bring you such amazing and impactful content. We just want to say asante sana. And if you feel you want to be part of us as a partner, then you can do that by sending the word partner on 20316 SMS line or 0786 316 316, which is our WhatsApp number. And also, if you feel you want to support this ministry as we reach out to different lives and impacting lives, then you can do that by sending your support to pay bill number 316 and the account number shall be your telephone number. God bless you and keep you. See you again tomorrow on Matters Finances, where we'll be talking about financial strategies as you scale up on SMEs. God bless you and keep you. See you again tomorrow. Bye.